Hello. Happy Friday. We made it. Happy Friday. Go ahead and juke this real quick. We made it. It's Friday. Get it. Wait, so I've been trying to learn this thing on TikTok that my kids keep telling me I'm lame and too old to do, but it's like that. It's the thing. I can't even think of the name of the song, but basically it's like Megan Thee Stallion, and she's just like, and so apparently I'm too old. I'm so old I can't even remember the name or the words of the song. So, but it doesn't matter how old I am. I'm old enough to be here with you on our date night. Let's go as like Christmas special because I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be here next Friday. So let's just say Christmas special. So go ahead in the comments, say hello, happy holidays. This is our first Christmas together. So be aware, I'm going to ask what you got me just to let you know. I got you something good. I'm here. And I also brought a special guest out for you guys tonight to enjoy this wonderful date night. We weren't here last week, but we are here this week. And in Florida, oddly enough, it's cold. So it is ridiculous. So we're here to hopefully warm you guys up on our date night. Oh, hi. How are you doing? Actually, let me go to Facebook so I can see people's names. If you guys want to help me out, up in the caption, it will say, click here so I can see your name so you can join the live. It's Khadijah. Hi, Khadijah. I knew it was you. Okay, so happy Friday. Super excited to get here with you guys. We are 1 week away from that big 25-day, right? So Christmas. It is the day for loving on each other, for hot cocoa, gingerbread houses, gifts, some extravagant, some well-deserved. But regardless of what happens on that day, just know that somewhere over in Tampa, Florida, I'm thinking about you, and I hope you're enjoying yourself. So thanks. Thank you for telling me happy holidays, too. I appreciate it so much. Okay, so tonight we have an awesome guest. Her name is Miss Maggie. So let's go ahead and talk about Friday Night Live sponsor. Okay, here she is, you guys. There is her Instagram handle. Go ahead and reach out to her. Go ahead and like and follow her. Let me just tell you a little bit of story about this woman named Miss Margarita, okay, or Maggie, as her friends are allowed to call her. She is just a light, right? So I met her through lead generation on LinkedIn. We have been attached to each other ever since. That virtual coffee, y'all. If y'all are not doing virtual coffees, if you're not meeting new people that you never would have met otherwise, I definitely encourage you to do it, because ever since then, it's like I got a new BFF, and we're in totally different industries, but we are both moms. We both have our families, and we're just in it to win it in our businesses. We're just in tune like that. So definitely love that she's tonight's sponsor. Definitely love that she is on here for our Christmas special. I don't know if she celebrates the holidays, like Die Hard, all of that stuff. I have no idea, but I'm going to find out. I'm going to ask her when she comes on. I will say that if my sister is watching, my sister, I think I talked about it last week, how like she would just have all these Christmas lights and ornaments, and she like collects them over time. I'm the exact opposite. I guess you can call me the Grinch maybe, but I love Christmas and I love the holidays. I'm just not about putting up all these decorations, because then who's going to take them down? Right, exactly. All right, cool. So for everyone who is watching us on YouTube, hi. Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Definitely make sure you do the S word, which is share. We definitely don't want to keep our date nights a secret, because you love them as much as I love them. I'm sure whoever you know is going to love them too. Okay, so let's go ahead and roll into our weekly wins. Okay, so go ahead and put in the chat. If this is your first time watching, go ahead and put in the chat what one of your wins was this week. I'm super excited to hear and read about them and just love on you very much. That's what we're all about on our date night, is to love on each other for our accomplishments and to answer any questions for our curiosities. Okay. So one of my wins this week, I typically always talk about my family or something in business or whatnot, but again, I'm gonna talk about business. Those are my two major things in my life. So in my business, my team and I have definitely strategized like a mug, right? And we finally finished. In addition to strategizing about hiring new people for the new year, because when I created Assist-U, it was to help people in their businesses to regain their life and their sanity by doing a complete overhaul of their administrative lives, right? And then also the other part was to create jobs. So we are set and on track to hire or like double the number of people that we have currently in our organization, which is a really big deal, which means that we have to triple or quadruple the number of clients that we're serving. So if you need administrative help, we got you, right? So that's definitely a big win. I also just hired my new executive assistant, David. David will be on the scene. He'll be popping in and out of lives or groups or other things that we're doing. So everyone say hi to David, and he is amazing already. I'm very excited to have him join the team. Oh, Takia says, hey, hi. Uh-oh, and Kia says, happy Friday. Happy Friday, Kia. I think this may be David because Assist-U was telling me happy Friday. So happy Friday, Assist-U. All right, let's go ahead and move in to what I want to know. So what I really, really want to know, of course, my answer is going to be yes. Are you guys done with your holiday shopping? Be honest. Are you done? My husband and I just came from Target to get a little heater, and it was packed, like no social distancing. Everybody did have on a mask, so that was awesome. But they also blocked off these 2 rows in the parking lot with cones, and it's pickup only. So everybody's making their orders and then going through the drive up to get their stuff picked up. But it's still, it looks like a big drive-in movie theater. How many cars it was. It was absolutely bananas. So are you done at Christmas shopping? Someone says, hi, David. Oh, Khadijah said, hi, David. Are you done Christmas shopping? And if not, when are you going to be done? Or are you the type of person that's like, okay, you guys, this is the year every year I give you your presents late because I want to catch those post-Christmas sales? Are you that type of person? If you are, I'm so proud of you. Oh, and then the other question I want to know, because the lady in the store kind of laughed at me when my husband asked me. He said, babe, are you going to buy wrapping paper? What? Who wrapping gifts for 5 kids? No. No, I'm not. I'm just not that Christmas person. I don't need to see my children rip open stuff. They rip paper all the time. There's things that are ripped all over the stairs. So it's like, that doesn't do it for me. I'm not going to spend money on wrapping paper and ribbons and bows and tape. I'll get you an art and craft kit. So that's me. So when our guest comes on, I'm going to ask her what she does and how she handles that, because I guess maybe I'm just too much of a Grinch and I just didn't realize it, but we'll find out in a second. So we're going to go ahead and do this now instead of later, because we do have a special guest and I want to give you guys enough time to meet, know, like, and love her as much as I do. So Mission 100, Assist-U is helping 100 businesses launch a new product or service in the next 365 days, y'all. Now, when I tell you we are launching, not like little launching, like launching, right? All of our clients that are coming to us now need some help, and our team is growing because the demand. And we're rolling into January. It's launch season, baby. Everybody's trying to hit those Q1 goals. You need help with those Q1 goals? We got you, right? Again, we're here to support. So, all right, I think we are all done. I said hello to everyone. All right, so let's go ahead and bring on our special guest. So before she gets on, I always embarrass people, right? Just with just the amount of love that I give them. This is no different. So when you think of, I'm going to tell this story, and I told her I was going to say it. So when I was little, not too long ago, right? I was younger, not too long ago. I was quite a bit, seriously overweight, like very chunky, like people call me Pillsbury every once in a while, but I play it off. It was fine. It was okay. It was good. I was like a cute Pillsbury. I personally believe. I always wanted to go to fat camp, and my mom and my dad would never take me to fat camp. I watched this movie about these kids that went to this camp, and they had this big inflatable thing that they would swing on a rope and jump on and just be propelled into the water or the lake or whatever it was. And I wanted to do that. And there was a fat kid that did it. And I was like, I want to fly like that fat kid. But anyway, the point of the story is they had counselors on the movie, and they were not cute at all. Like that wasn't, not at all. They were very ugly and disgusting. So when I met Miss Maggie, who again, y'all, I met her on LinkedIn. So pictures lie on LinkedIn. I had no idea what she was gonna look like. She got onto our Zoom, and she's freaking gorgeous, like gorgeous. And she's smart. It's ridiculous how smart this woman is. And then she just kind of blew all of those notions out of the water, that you can actually be cute, smart, and ambitious as a therapist. And she is all of that and all of above. And I'm sure when you guys see her and you meet her and you listen to her speak, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. Because I only surround myself with beautiful, strong, ambitious, and amazing people with lights that shine bright. And she definitely has that. So let's go ahead and give Miss Maggie a warm welcome. Say hi, Miss Maggie.
Hi.
Hi.
You're killing me over here. Like, I am probably red right now. Like, it's not the light.
It's all you.
Man, like, by the way, before we get started, I'm going to help you out.
Okay.
It's called the WAP, W-A-P.
The WAP. Oh, the body yaddy.
I got you.
Thank you. Because I had no idea. My old self.
Your old self? I think I'm older than you. What are you talking about?
I have more kids than you do. So each kid adds on like 5 years. I'm technically like 56.
Which is great then.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to be like you when I grow up.
Thank you. Khadijah says hello. Hello, hello.
Hi, Khadijah. I can't see anyone. I can't see what you see, so.
No, it's okay. I got you. I totally do. So let me go ahead and let's look at all of her beautiful credentials, you guys. It matches her face. Here we go. Oh, there we go. So tell us who you are, Miss Margarita, Miss Maggie. Who are you and what do you do?
So I'm a licensed mental health counselor. I've been in the field for a little bit over 10 years. And I'm also a certified clinical trauma professional. And what that just means is that I have a little bit of extra training in treating clients that have gone through some sort of traumatic event. And the QS stands for Qualified Supervisor, which means that I can help graduated students who become interns actually acquire their hours for licensure with the Board of Florida. So yeah, that's what those letters mean.
I love it. So you have to dispel the myth. Most people think of therapists and they think, they go in there and they just lay on the couch. Are people laying all over your couch? Is that what's happening?
So I do have a couch, but it's aesthetics, okay?
Oh, okay.
It is a couch, and there's 2 chairs, and it's very, very, very tasteful. But no, I don't have anyone who lies on the couch.
Okay.
I have one client. She loves to be comfortable, but it's not about, lay down and tell me your problems.
Oh, okay.
Not at all.
Okay. Now, are there boundaries since you don't allow people to lay on the couch? That's what I'm picking up. You're just like, no, you can't lay down. Is there anything else they can't do? Like, do they have to keep their shoes on or like?
I mean, I have a rug. I'm not picky, but there's one thing. If you're bringing a drink that sweats, you need to use the coaster.
Oh, you're one of those.
I'm like, I have a centerpiece, and the centerpiece includes 4 coasters.
Mm-hmm. Oh, on purpose is
So
what you're
if
trying to
and the coasters face the client.
say. The
So
angle.
if y'all got a Dunkin' Donuts coffee that we all know sweats because, well, the cold ones do,
Mm-hmm.
grab the coaster.
The coaster. You
I
should
have
get a
I have
little sign.
legit grabbed the coaster.
Yeah.
I have placed it for the client. Like, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Like, here's your coaster.
So I've seen like little things on like conference room tables, little, side tables that will give Wi-Fi passwords. So maybe you should put
Yeah.
like, take a coaster on there. Maybe that'd be helpful. That might be the first thing you can build them for. So,
I
all right.
don't think it'll fit the aesthetics. I'm
No,
kind of
it won't. Okay.
I mean, it's. I wish I had a picture of it. It's a wooden circular plate, which I got at
Mhm.
Target. Shout out to Target because they're amazing.
I love it.
There is a clear mason jar that I hand kind of crafted with like kind of that straw string around it, made a little bow on that, which
Mhm.
that's where you get your chocolate because there's Lindor truffles in there.
Lindor. Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Then we have the candle in the middle.
Hmm.
And then we have a pineapple dispenser, which is very fancy from Target with your hand sanitizer to stay within COVID regulations. And then we have your tissues, which
Yes.
it's a cylinder tissue display, which Kleenex has, which is
Not a
supposed to
square
be.
because we don't.
No, because it doesn't fit. The square's
No.
too big for the plate.
Right. Hmm.
So, and
Right.
that cylinder you can use for your car, but I repurposed it for the centerpiece.
This sounds very not anything that I would be able to afford to be around. Just saying, because I would break stuff. I'll bump into things. I'm
Everybody
very
knows
active.
it's like unsaid. Like everyone walks into the office and they strategically go around the center table, the coffee
Mm-hmm.
table, and they sit. Like there's no interaction with messing up my stuff.
Okay. Well, that's good. It's protected. That's awesome. We need
I'm
that.
just playing. I mean, clients are comfortable. I'm just being, but I'm sure they pick up on it. Like,
Yeah.
ooh, that looks like it's not to be touched unless I'm
Hmm.
sobbing.
Like that special spot in your house as a child you can't really go to because it needs to stay pristine and clean at all times.
What is a formal living room for? That's what I grew up with. Like, why is it there?
I don't know. I've
Can
always
anybody
asked
answer that for me?
Yes, if you're watching and you know what a formal living room is for, please let us know because
I mean,
I
I
know
know.
what a sunroom is for,
Well,
and I
I
know
mean,
what a
I thought it
porch
was
is for.
for pretty pictures. Yeah, like portraits. But then people would be like, "Don't sit on there." Well, how am I supposed to take a picture if I can't sit
Right.
on it?
So we changed our formal living room into our kids' classroom for homeschool because there's
Yeah.
nothing else you can do with it. The way they do roll around on the carpet. Anyway, all right. So let's get into tonight's topic. It is called emotional intelligence. So clearly, I'm not that intelligent because I have no idea what emotional intelligence is. Please break that down for me.
Well, I'm gonna use someone else's definition that is way better than I am, and
Okay.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna go by the professionals, right?
Okay.
So Susan David, she's a psychologist. She's somebody that I love to follow on, Instagram. I have they're her books. One of
Mm-hmm.
her most recent, I believe, is called Emotional Agility. It's amazing. So emotional intelligence is like okay, let me go back in time. So we have IQ, which is what everybody knows, intellectual quotient. I should know that, right?
Yes.
IQ. And then we have EQ, which is your emotional quotient, right? And there's this big book, very text heavy from back in the day. It's called Emotional Intelligence, and it has a lot of talk about the way that there were studies done and people were studying actually how to measure
Mm-hmm.
the emotional quotient, which is the same as emotional intelligence. But then over time, the topic has really kind of evolved. So different authors, doctors, psychologists, they've kind of interpreted in different ways, but it kind of means the same thing. So for example, with Susan David's definition of emotional agility, it's a process that enables us to navigate life's twists and turns with self-acceptance, clear-sightedness, and an open mind.
Hmm.
So that's kind of like that's kind of like the short version.
So basically, being emotional being emotional agile means that
Mhm.
you're able to go up and down with the ebbs and flows of life, right?
Yeah, I see it more as,
Okay.
yeah, it's more about being able to adjust.
Okay.
Another life coach, I don't know if you're familiar with Mastin Kipp. Um,
No.
and I mean, he's amazing. You should watch his story. He is like someone who was addicted to drugs and then kind of turned his life around. And he kind of coined the term of functional life coaching. And he talks about emotional fitness. So he's kind of talking about similar topic, just different approach.
Yeah.
And so he talks about there's 3 steps to the emotional fitness, which Susan David would say it's emotional agility, and the old book would call it emotional intelligence. See, it's kind of like,
It's the
so
same.
yeah. So for him, it's what's that word? I keep forgetting what it is, but it's kind of like it's interchangeable, like the terms.
Like transferable.
Yeah. So Mastin Kipp talks about, there's 3 steps. The first step is emotional awareness, which I would 100% agree too. We must know what's happening, right? We have to be aware of what's happening before we can do anything about it.
Right.
And then he says the next step is emotional intelligence. So now we're bringing it not just from being aware, but now we're doing something smart about it. Like what's the logical part that we're going to do, about this emotion that we're dealing with. And then he puts it into the final stage, which is emotional fitness, which is where that agility comes in. It's being able to, I guess, go with the flow, but like in a healthy way. It's not about avoidance. It's about being present, but also kind of pushing through what you need to push through and still keep going. If that makes sense.
Okay. So getting through it in an intentional way and
Right.
being able to be strong throughout. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. I
AKA
like the 3
resilience.
phrases. Right. My daughter came home the other day, well, when she was in 2nd grade, and the teacher taught them the word resilience, and she was able to spell it. And I was amazed. But I love that they're teaching them so young, because life is a whirlwind. It's a roller coaster, and you have to be able to know how to navigate and protect yourself throughout anything, I personally
Yep.
think.
Yeah.
So, is there some maybe like tips or tricks in your experience of how someone could try to start this process on their own before seeking help? Like if they're like currently in the midst of doing something or going through something?
Yeah. I think I'm going to say this often because I just think it's just a big deal and it's played a big role for me as far as being aware. The thing is that with awareness, especially, I don't know about you, but I wasn't taught that growing up, like being aware of my feelings. It was more like, okay, you're feeling something, I'm going to comfort you, or we're going to do something to distract you. So you don't feel that anymore. And now you feel the good feeling, and we kind of push the bad feeling aside
Yeah.
instead of bringing you into the present moment, right? And saying, okay, I understand you're sad. I understand you're angry. Why? What's happening? Okay, what's a solution, or what is it that we can do about this feeling? I mean, is this feeling something that needs to take over your day, or is this something that it's a little bit, it's just not appropriate right now, or just kind of bringing context around what it is we're feeling, because feelings are not right or wrong, they just are.
Yeah.
You have the right to feel what you feel. The thing is that sometimes I think as humans, it's very easy for us to get stuck in the feeling, and we forget about the logical sense of certain things. And so
Yeah.
that's when I love to bring in the concept of like self-regulation. If kids
Self-regulation. Okay. Tell me what that is. I like it.
if well, self-regulation is being able to kind of center yourself in the midst of tragedy, or in the midst of something negative, or something that's just kind of driving you to be out of control. Can
Oh,
you
yeah.
self-regulate when you're being triggered? You know what I'm saying? Like take anger, for example. Can you calm down in the middle of an argument when you just want to blow up on somebody?
And that takes a lot of strength.
Right. And it's emotional strength. It's
Yeah.
because it's once you're already triggered, once somebody's already got you elevated, how do you bring yourself back to that median and be level-headed again? And then so
Is
you
this
can
like
think straight.
is this like a one size fit all? Like, is there something you can say, okay, do this and you'll level yourself? Or does this takes a lot of self work for you to figure that out?
I think it's a process.
Yeah.
No, it's not a formula. Oh, we're gonna self-regulate today. A, B, C, D. Like you're good. You know, like go self-regulate. I can't just go send you to go self-regulate.
Yeah, like ghosting. Because what the reason why I asked is because even since when your children, your babies, if you do something wrong or you're upset, they put you in timeout for
Yeah.
everyone, as if that's going to regulate you, and I guess
Well,
it could calm you down.
well, so this is the thing. So I think it depends on how the child also, and I'm not a child therapist, so let me just say that. I have children. So as a
Mhm.
mom, I'll speak. And I think you always have to look at things with discretion. So you have to look at who you're putting in timeout
Right.
and how is that child responding to it, right?
Yeah.
But the purpose of timeout is
Definitely.
to give them time to think,
Hmm.
is to give him what I would call creating an interruption to what's happening. We need to create the interruption so we can stop the chaos, which is
Right.
usually what the purpose is.
Right.
And that's why timeout is only about the age of the child. It's not like prolonged periods of time.
Right.
There's a method to it, right?
Yeah.
But then the most important part of timeout is afterwards. It's not just bringing them out of
It's the
timeout.
conversation.
It's the conversation, which is the awareness piece.
Right. Yeah. So then that means, yeah, I wasn't taught that because I'm only doing that to my fifth one. I didn't do timeout with my other ones.
Better late than never.
Right. And it's because he's about to turn 2. So he's very emotional right now with just everything. He's
Right.
just
Yeah.
falls out with everything. Somebody knocked over his sippy cup. It's the end of the world. So like, if he doesn't calm himself down, I will put him against the wall, and then that's the end of the world for him. And then,
Yeah.
but then we talk. I know, not to say he doesn't understand, but I try to have a conversation with him and tell him, you can't do this. If you want something, you just ask. And he does his little finger. But I tried. The reason why my last one is the only one that I do it with is because I tried with my middle child, and he just played with the wall, and he just licked the wall. Like there was no thought that was going on.
My oldest is very adaptable.
Mm-hmm.
She actually took a gift. She's not gifted, or she didn't come out gifted in the test, which is fine. That's not near here nor there for me. But when you get the results back,
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that the results said from the psychologist was that she easily adapted to novel events, so like new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care if she didn't qualify for gifted. That little thing right there, the fact that she had that agility to adjust, which is what life is change.
Yeah.
So if you can't adjust and kind of go with it, you're going to have a lot of issues. And most of us don't like change. I mean, that's just
No,
reality.
we
So
struggle with letting things go.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
bringing it full circle, she was the one who I could put in timeout, and she'd just chill. She'd be like, all right, how long is timeout? Like, okay, 5 minutes,
It's like, what are we doing here?
7,
Okay,
8.
great.
So
Yeah.
with her, it wasn't about that. It was more, she's always been so in tune. Like, I'm telling you, this little girl, when she was 3 years old, could feel like if you were sad. She's just way too intuitive.
Yeah.
So for her, it was
Aww.
more about the conversation and the comfort and the that sense of like, I'm here, like I'm present, let's do this. And then with the little one, who's 5 now,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, timeout is like the end of the world. Like you can get her to do anything by saying, "I'll go, you'll put you in timeout," and she's like, "Okay, I won't do it."
All
Like,
right.
he does not go for that at all,
Mm-mm.
at all.
Well, hold on one second. So we got a message from Kelly Rodriguez. I think she knows
Oh
you.
yeah, yes, Kelly. I tagged her. I cheated. I tagged some people.
It's okay. And Takia actually answered the question. We were talking about the formal living room, dignitary
Oh,
meetings with adults. I didn't know my parents knew any other dignitary adults. Not at all. There was no reason for it. Actually, we ended up moving the furniture out of the formal living room, and I put my keyboard I got for Christmas one year. So that's what we did with it. But no, I love that we've talked about emotional intelligence, as mothers, not as therapists and business consultant in regards to our children. And
yeah.
then in regards to like adults, so going back to the regulating yourself, I
Yes,
feel like, and I don't want to talk about, a lot of your personal life, but
you
this is
can.
the show and they
It's all
know
good.
me. Okay, good. So I know like with my husband, we used to fight like cats and dogs, like Jody and the girl from Baby Boy. Like we would just be like outside yelling at each other. And I'm not a hood person, but I would get hood with him. I would get so angry. But thank God we stayed together because now we barely argue. We'll get into like a verbal disagreement, and now I feel like if I don't pop off, he doesn't pop off. So
Yeah.
maybe it was just always because I was the person who was just like outraged.
Yeah.
Is what I'm thinking. But that took a lot of growth and maturity on my part to recognize that the reason why he gets so mad is either because I'm not giving him an emotional response or my emotional response is being too aggressive.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I think.
I'll tell you a little bit a story if I can.
Sure.
So whoever meets me today would never guess that I had anger management issues.
No, never. I would never.
No one would guess that I was an introvert.
Never.
No one. But that was, 15 years ago.
Okay.
Or more. I'm 34, and that's fine. It was a long.
Okay, 34. Go ahead.
It was a long process for me to deal with that. I started dealing with my anger issues when I was about 14. So, I noticed early on that I got my personality from my dad. So there's a lot of things that are very good about it. So he was very, persevering. Somebody was just pretty strong, like just didn't give up, kind of kept pushing forward. A lot of resilience in that man. But I was a hothead. Like I would go 0 to 100, like real quick. Isn't that a song that I just
Yeah, you did.
You
did. Don't ask me who said it because
it was a Drake. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I know it's 0 to 100.
Real.
Yeah.
It was Drake. You're so right.
Oh my God, I'm on it today. So
and that Meek guy.
Say what?
And Meek Mills, I think.
I have no idea what you just said. Now I'm old again.
No, yeah, don't worry about it. I'm probably wrong. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So I realized early on that I was just like him. Like we used to bump heads, like go head to head. Like I'm talking about yelling, screaming. I mean, you would never know that was me. And as I got older, I realized that stuff really pushed away friendships, relationships. I mean, I don't know. This is my opinion. It's just not sexy. Like who wants a crazy woman? I don't know. Like I just go bananas.
Yeah.
And also friends. I didn't have a lot of social skills. Anyways, the point is that I began to understand self-regulation back then. And it really, what clicked for me was that I needed to learn how to think before I spoke. That is like the biggest thing you can do if you have anger issues, but it's the hardest thing to ever do, because if anybody's ever been upset, and if anybody here watching and listening has ever been one of those, if you're Hispanic, I can't speak for any other culture, but if you're Hispanic, you get hot real quick. Like you said something, I already told the story in my head and I'm ready to respond. Like that's who I am initially. I just, I've learned to not, that's just not helpful. The hardest thing to do is to not scratch the itch to speak. Because you're ready to go. Right. And when I learned to do that and say, okay, so in your head, I mean, literally this happens in your head. It's like, okay, I'm angry, like I'm triggered.
Yeah.
I'm going to breathe. The last thing you want to do is breathe because you want to scream or you want to rip their heads off. Like if you have, that's just, I'm being honest and real, right? Transparent.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if we can do that and we can focus. So what we're doing is we're acknowledging the emotion. Okay, I'm angry, I'm pissed, whatever you want to call it. We're going to breathe through it.
That is so good. Acknowledging it first. Okay.
Yeah, it happens in your head, and honestly, once you get used to it, it's a quick. I don't spend 10 minutes on this, right? So you acknowledge it, then you're just like, okay, you breathe it out, because what you're trying to do is get your physiological response, which is what's happening. Your emotions are giving a physiological response that, at least for me, it was all in my belly all the time. It's like, oh my God, I'm gonna tell them off, And after getting through that part where you breathe it, you pause. If you have to walk away, you walk away and you say, I need a minute. I mean, whatever it is. Then you kind of get a sense of serenity again. Like you want to get balanced again, right? Then you got to come back to the issue. That's how you close it off.
Mm-hmm.
You can't avoid. Avoiding just hides stuff in a little box, and then it just comes to haunt you later on.
And it festers.
Yes.
It's going to be 10 times worse. Yep.
Yeah. So if we can do that, then what we're doing is this is something of stuff that I've learned in the trauma training too. It's like we're getting our emotions from that side of our brain, like in the amygdala and in the limbic system. And I'll stop being all fancy schmancy now. But then we put it back into the frontal lobe, which is the where we have like the functioning, and we're it's where we do the planning and we get focused and all that.
Mm-hmm.
We bring it back forward, so we're bringing it forward, and now we can think logically.
Mm-hmm.
We can actually have some rationale around it, and then we can actually target the issue a little better. The problem is too, it's like in a relationship, for example, different people trigger different things in us.
Oh,
right?
yes.
So some people will make us want to just yell, and some people actually, they're so good that they actually calm us down.
Yeah.
So we have to
It
be
used to be
aware.
so bad for me that like, and through my progression of like where I am now, I would stop like the popping off, but then I would dream about what I wanted to do to them. And I would wake up with just the biggest smile on my face because I feel like they got theirs, but in my dream. And then now the dreams have stopped. And now I'm actually like having conversations. Like now I'm to the point where I will have a conversation about how I felt in that moment, not necessarily what you said or what you did. It's how I was feeling in that conversation the following day. It takes me a day to just get through it. And that's people outside of my house.
And that's really important though. Like couples, it's really important to realize like what works for you guys,
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes in a relationship, it works for one party or maybe both parties to walk away and not engage when you're so hot, when you're so angry at that moment or when you're so triggered. Because people aren't thinking straight. It's like if you were drunk, you tried reasoning with a drunk person, it never works because they're compromised. And anger is the same thing. You're compromised at that emotional level to an extent where you're not going to think straight.
Right.
So we need to de-escalate. We need to self-regulate so then we can think straight. And the thing is, sometimes it takes years of trial and error.
Yeah.
To get it right. But I swear to you, once I got it right, I don't argue.
Yeah.
I refuse to because I know what it does to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I've learned that when I already kind of see it coming, or if I see something happening, I either disengage. So I'll be like, listen, I don't think X, Y, and Z, need to walk away, whatever. Or another thing we can do is ask a question. I know that's the last thing we want to do, ask a question, because we're angry. But it's so much better when we come from a place of being inquisitive versus accusatory.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know, whatever happens, I would say, instead of saying, "Oh my gosh, you're so dumb, like you didn't even know how to put the rice to make." I don't know, like something like that, right? Which happens. It's so real. Like we get so comfortable with people.
I'll give you a great example. So my husband will say something to me, like let's say if I'm complaining about homeschooling my kids, and so he'll be like, "We just need to put them back in school," and I'm like, "Are you saying that you think I can't do it?" Like, because that's what I'm hearing. He's saying like I should just give up, and that's not what he's saying. But it makes me angry because I'm like, stop. That's not an option. They can't go back to school. Just let's figure out a solution. Just say something that's
well. That is. Let me tell you though, that is a very common way for a man to solve your problems. He's giving you a solution in his brain.
Yeah, to him, it's to just go put them back in school. But no. So we have to talk it out. And I always, because I know his heart and I know his intention is not to be mean or malicious,
right, or
to make me angry on purpose. He clearly doesn't see my body language has now changed. So let me ask you a question. Let me make sure I understand you right before Antonia and my mind pops off. Okay, so I think that's awesome.
You would say like, if he says that and you're already feeling hurt, instead of like going off like, well, how can you say that? That, what are you saying? Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not good enough? Like, I'm not going to be, I can't do it all? Instead of going down that route, you would say, well, what do you mean by that?
Right. And I'll ask him, and sometimes he'll just repeat it over and over again. I'm like, okay.
So, no, you could just ask him to elaborate. Don't even assume. You just, if he'll say, well, no, what I think is that they should just go back to regular school. Be like, okay, can you tell me more about why that makes sense to you? I know it sounds so cliche, but I swear, like, you just ask the question.
Mhm.
Sometimes we even avoid ourselves the heartache because he might just be like, listen, I just don't want to see you stressed out. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to find a solution for you. And then he says that and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
you're thinking
and
about
that's
me the whole
normally what it
time.
is. Right. And he's like, cause I just want to be there for you, babe. Like he's such a bear. Like I
There you go. See, and then
love
you
it.
could have avoided maybe some harsh feelings there.
Yeah. Cause I know he doesn't mean to. I know he's just a guy. So
I didn't say
that,
that. You said that. I didn't say. I ain't trying to
that's what
get
I
against no
say.
male followers around here.
No, I'm all day. They're just guys. Okay, that's just how they think. Very much like that. So just be real. It's date night. It's fine.
So what's your
So,
win, Antonia? Because you asked earlier. I've been taking notes. I watched you in
oh,
the beginning. What's your win?
so my win was that I hired an executive assistant named
Oh, yeah, you
David.
did say that.
Yes, and then that we finished our strategic planning for 2021. So we are done, and we even started early by hiring David because we weren't supposed to hire him until January. But
That's
it's
so
just
amazing.
time. Yeah, it's time, and I'm very proud of this team this year. How we're closing it out. I don't know if I should say it or no, I'm not gonna say that. No, let me think about it. So how we close out this year, we did awesome this year. Very much headed in the right direction. Scaling was a very smart decision to do this year, especially this year where everybody was home and they need remote support. So that's awesome. So what was your win for this week?
I wrote it down because I've been taking notes. I'm like, she's not gonna catch me off guard. And you're talking about putting me on the spot. I'm like, ain't no spot. I got notes here.
You still have your 5 questions, and I haven't even thought of them yet. Here we go.
Well, actually, my win was actually, just being present and not trying to hang out in the future too much.
That's good.
So, I've had several conversations that have led me to understand that I do that a lot. I want to know the story's ending before I even start reading the book. And you can't do that.
Oh my gosh.
You
We're
miss the
gonna be
lessons in between if you do that.
Yes. You will miss the lessons in between. And honestly, the middle is the fun. That's the fun part.
No, but I need to, it's like my instinct is like, I need to know how this ends because then I know how to enjoy the ride or I can prepare for the failure.
Wait a minute. I need to watch the end of the movie so I can enjoy the middle and the beginning.
Or not. Or I can just prepare to be dropped like in a roller coaster.
Oh my God.
I know it's sad. I'm working on it.
That is so funny. No, I want you to definitely enjoy the middle because, I mean, so let's just say the end is one day you just, everybody just dies. Like that's the only thing that's consistent is death and taxes, right? So you already know the ending. Now let's work on the middle. How are we going to get to death?
You're giving me advice. All right, coach.
There you go. That's because I'm 56. Okay, so I'm just trying to think if there's any other questions. If I was in the audience, what would I ask you? Well, to me, just to put a pin on a button on the topic, so the emotional intelligence piece, I feel like being as an adult, and we weren't initially taught of how to be emotionally intelligent. Majority of us weren't by our family.
I wasn't, yeah.
Right. There's definitely a space and need for people like you. And so thank you for being a therapist. Thank you for doing the hard work that our parents didn't do. Right. Sometimes when I was dating, like a long time ago, I felt like I was really mad at the guy's mom because I'm like, who raised you? Because they do no work with you. I don't understand. But luckily I don't have that issue now. But that's how I feel about people. Our parents do the best that they possibly can. And probably it's because their parents didn't teach them about emotional intelligence either. And with my children, I'm definitely trying to do my very best to teach them those things. They do work my nerves. And I have a tendency now to go off on them when I feel like they should know this stuff. Like it's common sense. Like don't touch it. It's hot. Like seriously, stop. I don't want to take you to the doctor and then we get COVID and all this other stuff. I don't say that because I wanted to freak them out, but that's what I'm thinking in my mind. Like, oh gosh, urgent care COVID. So I'm thinking that as adults, we definitely need someone like you because no one has taught us. And I think it's like expert level, like AP level, college level, of being able to just control your own emotions. There's so many people that don't know how to do it at all. But they're successful. So I don't get that either.
Yeah.
But
well, a lot of us are functional, and there's a lot of we all get cut slack, right? It's like, oh, they're amazing at this, but they have a bad temper, right?
Mhm.
And it's really, honestly, for me and my own like life transformation, it's been more about how much at peace I want to be with myself. I don't want to have these bad days because I had an argument in the beginning of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then it messes up my entire day, and we all know what that's like.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to bob and weave through those emotions and then still have a good ending. So it's really about, how we want to live, like for ourselves, right? So like how content and fulfilled do we want to feel, or do we want to really experience days where, even though they're rough days, when you can be emotionally intelligent about something, you can push through easier,
Yeah.
like I don't know how to like when we do not allow ourselves to be trapped in a certain emotion, because now we're using common sense, we're using emotion, and then we're creating a plan.
Yep.
So even though you may have a bad day, I'm not saying we're not going to, and I'm not saying we're not going to have bad times. I mean, we're going to have failures and tragedies and stuff happen.
Mm-hmm.
But people who would ultimately be resilient and exercise the emotional intelligence piece of it, just they heal better.
Yeah.
In general, you heal better emotionally because you're able to tap into all those components.
Right. Yep. And you're absolutely right. We're going to go through things, but we just have to, like you said, do the work and think about it and use logic in order to protect ourselves and to maintain our levels of strength as we move through this thing called life. So, all these 56 years. Okay. So, thank you so much for coming on to our date night. I typically don't like when people come and encroach themselves on our date night. I like it to just be me and them. But you're an amazing date. So good job.
Oh, thanks. I'm so cute. You didn't even have to buy me anything. Where's my gift?
You are a cheap date, Miss Margarita. I don't know.
Where are my questions, girl? I'm ready for the hot seat.
Okay. So are you ready?
I don't know. I mean, you got your warning before the meeting, so anything.
Yes.
Anything but that.
Yep, totally. I'm not like some other people on talk shows, so I got you. All right.
Well, I mean, I would dodge it anyway, but
that's the emotional intelligence thing.
I'm right. I ain't answering that.
Nope. What was your first car? What type of car was it?
We really want to tell people that?
Yeah.
Whoever likes this model of car are probably going to hate me now. Kia Spectra.
Oh, really?
And it was green.
Oh. Well, now I like it. I don't like Kias, but now I like it because it was green.
That's the thing I used to drive to. I used to go to FAU, so that was my very first school that I went to. But I lived in Miami, so I drove to Boca every day. That little thing had it had a suit up like speakers, like I put a sound system in it, but then it would shake on the highway when it went 80. So it'd be shaking like this, and your steering wheel shakes like that, but you're blasting the music at the same time.
So you don't care. You get out of the car, your hands are numb and everything. That's fine. Lord have mercy. Okay, so are you big on Christmas, and did you wrap your kids' Christmas gifts?
Yes and no, because I have little older ones that are very aware of everything.
Yeah.
So it usually needs to be done like in the middle of the night or something as the days get closer. But I mean, we're big on it. Like it's already done.
Okay. Shopping is done. So you put ribbons and stuff on their gifts and like bows. Look at you. Yeah, you do. Oh my gosh.
But I only have 2.
Okay.
Versus 5. So
no. Yeah. Yeah, if I can't get enough bows in one bag from the dollar store, it's not happening. So if that does happen,
Oh, but I'm not getting like ribbon and like Macy's wrapping it for
oh,
you.
these people are legit doing masterpieces out here.
Oh
So
no, not for kids. No, like that's like for a wedding, I would say, or something like like where the bride's gonna keep the bow because it's so pretty.
okay, so here's a question: do you watch a lot of movies? Because then you'll totally be able to answer this question.
I keep getting that. Like I swear, I was
Yeah.
speaking to one of the interns that I supervise. She's amazing, Jana. If you're watching, love you. Um, yeah, I'm just assuming she'll watch. And so she's like, have you seen this movie? And she asks me that all the time. Have you seen this movie? And this whole week, I've had multiple people. Did you see this? Because I want to relate to. No, girl, I ain't watch no movie because I'm running this business, creating a new one, writing a book, and living life. Like, no, I don't watch no movie.
Well, I wasn't going to ask if you watch a specific movie. I was
Okay,
going to ask your favorite movie. What role would you play? So basically, if you had to be a leading or supporting role, what movie would it be?
I want to play a doctor.
Oh,
I was a pre-med major, and then I never went for that. So I would definitely want to be a doctor.
Trying to think of a movie. The only movie that I know with a really awesome doctor was called I can't remember the name, but it has Robin Williams was in it, and he had a red nose, and he dealt with children cancer.
The cancer children. I forget what it was.
Yes.
Is it Happy? No.
Sam.
Oh yeah.
No, Jack is when he had that thing, and he was like.
Yeah, I know what you mean though. He went to the center with the kids with cancer.
But that was awesome. Okay, so 4. Well, you already told me that you are a writer. So would you ever get up somewhere and read excerpts from your books? Because you said you're a recovering introvert, and a lot of people who have books read them out loud in front of large crowds. Would you do it?
Yeah. So I guess let me go back. So I say I was used to be an introvert. I think I just hadn't tapped into my extrovert strengths.
Okay.
Because once I grew out of it, I don't think I'm not legit an introvert, I guess. Simon Sinek, if anybody's read him before, Start With Why and The Infinite Game is what he's written, and he's a psychologist. He talks about how an introvert is exhausted by people. There's this 2-minute video on it, and extroverts actually feed off the energy of others. So I think eventually I realized I was an extrovert because I love this. Like I could keep going for like 2 hours.
No.
So yes, I would read. But since you didn't ask, but I'll tell you anyways, the book is in Spanish and it's a poetry book. So I would have to read it in the right context. But yeah, I would do it. I mean, I have to practice. There's some that I read and I hold back tears. So I have to get better at it.
Okay. All right. And then the last question is a little bit of a heavy one. Are you ready?
Uh-oh.
But it's good. It's going to tell us a lot about you. So, all right. It is the last day on Earth, and for you, right? Not for everyone else, just for you. What is it?
No one's dying, just you.
We're just watching you be in your last day. So, what is a sentence, the last sentence that you would want to say to everyone on the world that we would hear from your lips? What would be the last thing you would want to say?
I would want to tell everyone that they are enough.
That's awesome.
I struggled with that for a long time. So when I say I'm enough or telling someone they're enough, it encompasses a lot of like limiting beliefs that we have about whether I'm too much or I don't make the cut for this, or I'm not enough because they don't love me this way, or X, Y, and Z. I would want to remind everyone that they are enough. It's not it's an internal thing. You are enough, and whatever you wish to change about you, you can change. But don't allow anyone to make you feel like you're not enough. If you're not enough to them, then maybe they're the wrong person.
That's right. So I would totally come up and turn out for your last day on Earth. if you were going to be talking to me like that. Like, I feel like that would be great. Thank you.
Okay. And then I disappear into thin air. I don't die.
Right. You like gracefully rise into the
like
clouds.
a little fairy and just go off with Peter Pan.
Exactly. Because we got to do it in style, right? It got to be like
with glitter. Thanks.
Right. Tinkle all the way up to heaven. Okay. So thank you so much for being a guest. I really hope you enjoyed yourself. I had fun here. Well, I'm sorry. Did you want to ask me a question? No.
Did I?
Good. No. No.
Well, I wanted to thank you.
Oh, thanks.
You said a lot of, like, do we have 2 minutes?
Yeah, go ahead.
So you said a few nice things about me, and I'm so like humbled by that. And you even called me a BFF. Like,
yeah.
What?
I'll tell you a secret, and this is for people who are watching too. I don't like a lot of people. So if I like you, it's because you're great.
I'm in. Yeah, and I think I'll keep this vague and short and to the point. It's been a journey for me, and a lot of people that I have met, in this past year, I feel because I have done so much work in aligning myself with my core values and what I really want my why to be that I'm putting out in the world.
Yeah.
I've aligned with people like yourself that, you just click. Like we have energies that you just vibe. You just vibrate. You were vibrating at the same level or higher. And I'm so grateful for that. So I'm super grateful that you brought me on here, that we got to have this chat. I'm grateful to have you in my life. Thank you for everything you said. You did not embarrass me, although I'm not going to touch the subject about counselors.
Okay.
But I'm, gratitude is just a huge thing. When you recognize who you have in your life and those people that are on, that are on your side, they're on your team. And I'm grateful that, you're one of those.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
Stop it.
I heard you too. Okay, you guys. Thank Miss Maggie for coming on to our live tonight and coming in and joining in with our date night. I'm going to go ahead and just send you to the back real quick if you don't mind holding back there. And then I'll give you a proper goodbye.
Okay, honey.
All right. Everybody say bye. Thank you. Okay, you guys. I feel like I never disappoint. If I could just put my humble card up for a second. I never disappoint, right? And just like she was saying, she did a lot of self-work and she is now attracting certain people into her life. And I think I have done exactly the same. I've attracted you to come here on our Friday night date night. And I'm also attracting the other people that are now in my sphere. And I don't use the acronym BFF very lightly. So I'm definitely appreciative of them, and especially my number one date, you. Thank you so much for coming. And I will definitely see you guys next. Oh my gosh, I won't see you again on a Friday until the new year, until the 1st. Oh my gosh. So I'll see you next year on Friday. All right. Bye.